What is going on, chat, man? We are back, and today we are reacting to the scariest monster in sports history, Alexander Kalin. I've never heard of this guy in my life, so today we're gonna find out about him, man. You know, this was highly anticipated and highly recommended, man. If you guys are new to my channel and enjoy this type of content or sports content in general, you know, hit that subscribe button, man, and join the crew. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Yes, sir.
At the end of the last century, Alexander
He's just throwing them around.
Karelin petrified heavyweights on the mat. Instilling fear with his sheer presence, even managed to dabble into MMA. Dubbed by Americans as the Madman for his ruthless training and the Experiment for possessing superhuman strength.
Oh my god!
The Siberian Titan forced a change in the rules to give others a fighting chance.
What?
Today, we will walk in the footsteps of the Russian Bear, one of the greatest athletes across all sports and eras. Alexander grew up in a large industrial city in the heart of Siberia. Despite both parents being no taller than 5'5", the future wrestler weighed 12 pounds at birth. By the age of 12, he was already a head taller than his father, and the scale beneath him showed 176. In 1981, the sizable teenager stepped into a Greco-Roman wrestling gym and never deviated from the chosen path. Neither the severe leg fracture suffered in practice nor the pleas of his mother, who burned her son's uniform in a sign of protest, could convince him to abandon the sport.
Bro, he's just carrying them around like they're toddlers, like genuinely, bro.
In 1988, the 20-year-old prodigy arrived at the Soviet Union Championship. After running through the bracket and sustaining a concussion along the way, he found himself in the battle for the gold against the two-time world champion Igor Rostorotsky, who'd given young Karelin his first loss a year prior. In the rematch, Alexander immediately grabbed the waist and got a push-out, earning the top position. In the parterre, the Titan clamped his vice, jacked up 260 pounds, and sent the adversary airborne,
He can't even move!
securing an elegant tech fall. The highlight of the match was the reverse body lift, which would later become a signature move in the Giant's arsenal, earning it the nickname the Karelin Lift. The wrestling world stood at the threshold of a new era. At the 1988 Olympic Games in Seoul, the heavyweights immediately tasted the Siberian power. The young Colossus also stood out for having cat-like dexterity. And destroyed anything that moved on the mat.
Bro!
And the winner of the match on mat B by disqualification, Alexander.
In the clash for the Olympic gold, he faced a four-time world champion medalist, Wrangel Gerovsky. Karelin came out hot.
Karelin is...
But baiting the Russian in, the Bulgarian technician grabbed the elbow and performed an arm throw, which earned him 3 points. Back to his senses, Alexander began hand-fighting aggressively.
already.
Is this the GOAT of wrestling, chat? Is this the best wrestler of all time?
And convinced the referee to order them into parterre,
The only man who can try, I think we're going to see it here.
securing a nice with the required amplitude, and only reduced the gap by one more.
Call it his
What?
signature move.
Karelin upped the pressure after the break, and finally managed to even out the score.
Trying to turn this around. Gorovsky
By
has
the way, this guy is way bigger than him, bro. This guy just looks lean, but this guy looks way bigger.
been... Well,
Gaining the dominant
to be a takedown, I think. He's got him down.
cementing a 3-point lead. The triumph made the Soviet wrestler
Dang.
the youngest Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling champion in heavyweight history.
Oh my
However,
gosh!
this was just an omen of total domination.
Okay, this This guy's
Now, the
different.
king had to defend his title in other prestigious tournaments. From 1989 to 91, the already revered Karelin dominated the world stage, unable to find a worthy challenge.
Why would he fight this guy? That's not even fair. That's not fair. That's not fair.
When tying up with him, even the mightiest specimen looked like ordinary people.
They can't do anything about it too. It's like they're dangling in the air.
Crushed the opposition exclusively inside the distance in 2 consecutive world championships. And every heavyweight experienced weightlessness courtesy of the reverse body lift. Thoroughly annihilating his adversaries, Karelin claimed European and World Championship titles 3 times in a row.
Oh my
Completing
gosh.
a flawless 4-year cycle, in 1992, Alexander headed to the Olympic Games in Barcelona. By that moment, the Soviet Union had ceased to exist, so the wrestler entered the tournament as part of the unified team, which included athletes from former Soviet republics. Karelin was given the honor of carrying the flag yet again. Unlike the previous games, the 24-year-old Alexander was now considered the uncontested favorite. All the top guys prepared for him specifically, but none of them
What?
could last with him for even 3 minutes.
Trying to hang on, he's got him in the air and he's done him.
Watching the Siberian wrestler's supremacy, Western journalists dubbed him the Russian Bear. Albeit the moniker The Experiment
Bro,
stuck
he walks like that? Bro, this guy, this guy is different, bro.
even better. Many seriously believed that scientists had created this monster in a lab. Some went as
What?
far as to label him insane when witnessing the intensity of his training.
Alexander Karelin, who was the scariest fucking wrestler of all time. They used to call him the Experiment because his parents were like normal size, like kind of tiny, like 5'7", and he's a panther. 6'2", 300 pounds, and you know what his move
What?
is?
Yikes.
He throws people around. He picks them up and beats them with the earth. And look at that picture. See that picture? I have that picture framed on metal, printed on metal in the gym, just to remind me of what a pussy I am.
In the showdown for all the marbles, Karelin faced the former world champion from Sweden, Thomas Johansson. No one offered much resistance. A very quick tournament run for me. 7 minutes in total.
Oh my god.
Having conquered absolutely everything, the 2-time Olympic champion still
every single day to be this good, or was it more of like he's just that good off the bat, bro? Because I see him working out, but I'm genuinely curious because this guy's moving like a Ninja Turtle. I don't know what, mutant something, bro. He's different.
steadily expanding the list of men who involuntarily defied gravity. Unfortunately, such a busy schedule led to more injuries, and at the 1993 World Championship, Alexander suffered 2 fractured ribs in the very first match. The Russian team didn't even have a doctor at the time, so he had to go out there without any painkillers. Opponents saw this as a long-awaited opportunity, but even in a compromised state, Karelin had no intention of conceding an inch of the mat.
Bro, broken ribs and he's still beating people. I'm not working hard enough, my boy.
Stoically
What?
overcoming the pain, he easily disposed of the main contenders. Reaching the final
my
with
God.
authority, the injured Siberian sealed the deal within the first period.
The first period is crazy.
Nevertheless, by the end of the Olympic cycle, after collecting all the gold from another 3 world and European championships, Alexander appeared to have pushed his body to its limit, leading to an injury a few months before the trip to Atlanta. My major pectoralis muscle was torn off. Doctors said I wouldn't be able to lift a spoon with my right arm for a year. Still, the wrestler set himself the goal of making it to his 3rd Olympic Games at all costs. He significantly reduced the number of training sessions and completely abstained from sparring. Alexander was far from being in peak shape, but no one in the coaching staff dared to doubt him. Karelin led the Olympic team for the 3rd time in a row at the opening ceremony. It was evident from the beginning that Alexander struggled to grapple at full strength.
どういう風にカレリンがこのアヤリを料理するのかですね。
そうですね。
はい。
The injury didn't allow him to perform the reverse body lift,
持ち上げて、あおっとこらえたぞ、こらえたこらえた。
leaving him without his primary weapon.
していきます。ローリング。
Oh
これで
my
2
god, so then he had to learn another way to win.
ポイン
What?
ト。
Only as a Russian Roman can rage. She wanted to yank him out of wrestling, but he didn't leave it.
And although the scoreboard didn't always show the traditional 10-0,
ポイントを上げたのはカレリンだ。カレリンが後ろに回ってポイ
it
ント。
was Karelin's hand that was raised after the whistle, time and time again. In the Battle Royale, he shared the stage with a US wrestler, Matt Ghaffari, vowing to stop the Russian Bear, a compatriot in unison.
Vous imaginez, sans combat, sans...
Forcing the local favorite to back away,
Rapidement, vous avez vu Caroline prendre ce match.
Alexander secured the desired position at the 45th second mark.
Ceinture de côté.
Ghaffari
Hey, yo!
negated the gut-wrench attempt.
De l'Amérique dehors du cercle. Et
Pause.
Despite Karelin's continuous attacks,
On va sûrement arriver à cette prolongation.
the referee gave Ghaffari a chance towards the end. The fans are in anticipation of a sensation,
Attention.
Les 10 000 spectateurs sont debout.
but there was no miracle that day.
Énormément pour le moment. Mais Ghaffari est fort. Ghaffari est pas loin de
How strong you have to be to just sit there?
passer.
Karelin maintained his offensive tactic until the closing seconds of the match and secured a hard-earned victory with a minimal score of 1-0.
Mais c'est extraordinaire.
The Ghaffari match was a very tough one, but I was the one attacking. I was the one pressing the issue as opposed to reacting. At the age of 28, Alexander Karelin became a three-time Olympic champion and transformed into a living legend of the wrestling world.
Okay,
Following
okay.
yet another triumph, the madman did not slow down, continuing to defend the heavyweight crown with a maniac's zeal. Over the next 3 years, he won every tournament, lapping the sport's cream of the crop. Alexander did not forget the close encounter with Ghaffari, and in their 1998 World Championship finale rematch, the American got eliminated in only a couple of minutes. The
Wow.
Russian Bear kept torturing everyone on the mat, and the best wrestlers could not score a single point on him for 6 years. Riding an
For 6 years, no one could score a point? Is that even possible?
endless wave of wins, Karelin's popularity extended far beyond the realm of his discipline. In 1999, he traveled to Japan to support his friends at an MMA event. A local fighter approached him in a bold manner and challenged him to a mixed rules match. The Russian wrestler knew little about fighting, but didn't refuse. The Daredevil's name was Akira Maeda. A pro wrestling star, he began his mixed martial arts career in the early 90s. The Japanese fighter had already had 12 performances under his belt, including a submission win over a USSR Sambo champion.
Wow.
A choke against the catch wrestling master Kiyoshi Tamura, and finished one of Russian MMA's pioneers, Volk Han.
Oh my gosh.
While Akira went to the US for 6 months to work with freestyle wrestling specialists, Alexander made no changes to his training regimen at his Greco-Roman gym. According to the rules, the contestants were allowed to strike only with an open palm, and hitting on the ground was prohibited. The Karelin-Maeda clash turned into the biggest event in Ring's promotion history. The 17,000-seat arena was packed full, and the fighters
It was that big back then?
struggled to make their way to the ring. The local darling walked out in classic pro wrestling attire, and the guest from Russia entered wearing the familiar wrestling singlet, clearly indicating that he had no plans of deviating from his bread and butter skill set. Akira decided to surprise the grappler with kicks.
He's way bigger than I thought. He's way bigger than I thought.
He kicked me in the leg using techniques from striking sports. They call them low kicks, and I understood that it hurts. Initially, I thought it was some kind of joke, and I didn't expect to be the one in pain. So I realized it was time to change the trajectory of the fight. Feeling the effect of these strikes, Alexander quickly grabbed a hold of him, sent the man flying with a front headlock,
を決めています。
and then diversified the entertainment program.
こんなのも珍しい。ちょっと
The Russian Bear started setting up the reverse body lift, horrifying the
It's
commentator.
like the guy can't even do anything in this situation too. Like he's just sitting there.
華麗にリフトだ。頭からいった。
Alexander then applied something resembling an arm triangle
だろうと前田明は言っています。
and kept squeezing the samurai dry until the bell sounded.
さあ、ゴング。
The wrestler calmly walked to his corner, while the pro wrestler had to be escorted. The low kicks
What?
clearly didn't sit well with Karelin,
数々の思い出どころで。
so he reintroduced Maeda to Siberian Airlines.
前田もちょっとペースダウン。おーっと首投げだ。
Siberian
ボディ
Airlines.
ブロー。あーっとスープレックス、スープレックス。かつてのアリシの。
Following 10 minutes of total domination, Alexander secured a unanimous victory.
コールされました。前田明。
He did not land a single strike throughout the bout, but Maeda still
He
couldn't
didn't land a single strike. Is
leave
crazy.
the ring on his own. Karelin's payout amounted to about $1 million. All of it was donated to the Russian Wrestling Federation.
ボディブロー。
In the year 2000, Alexander became a 13-time national champion and an 11-time European champion, earning the right to represent his nation at the Olympic Games in Sydney.
Схватка затягивается на 9 минут.
Karelin was over 30 by then, and the number of broken ribs had reached a dozen, so he firmly decided that this would be his last showing. The Bear easily bulldozed through the bracket without conceding a single point.
What?
And he gains the ball.
There was no doubt that he would become the first ever to collect 4 Olympic golds in wrestling. It's worth mentioning that the rule set had been changed prior to this tournament. One correction was in regard to the period. The athlete who first let go of the grip was to be penalized with 1 point. The final hurdle was the U.S. representative, Rulon Gardner, whom Karelin had defeated before. The stout farmer from the backcountry had no significant international achievements other than having a massive 50 streak. Taking the initiative, Alexander tried to get behind Gardner's back.
Gardner out of Afton, Wyoming, grew up on a dairy farm, is one of the best conditioned heavyweights in this competition.
And was awarded top position in parterre for activity.
And this will be from the top
The reverse.
with his own hip and try to push Gardner over.
By the second period, there were 2 zeros on the board, and according to the new rules, wrestlers were put in an over-under clinch.
Karelin is in the red singlet.
Following an intense struggle,
Had a record like this was the USA's Bruce Baumgartner, who competed in freestyle wrestling.
Gardner,
Lead, he's gonna bang.
finding himself in an unfamiliar role of playing catch-up, Alexander rushed to make up for the deficit.
For a little hand slapping, they bring them back to the center.
According to the regulations, if the score gap was less than 3 points, a 3-minute overtime was appointed.
Ghaffari did it to Karelin.
Now, Gardner was given a chance on the mat,
Maybe this is the factor. The wrestler.
where he decided to simply kill time.
Him on his feet. What he doesn't want to do is take a risky attempt at a gut wrench.
Well aware of how much a mistake could cost him, Rulon wasn't going to take risks.
Looking confident.
Hearing the clock ticking away, Karelin did not stop.
Karelin.
Oh my God.
People, do they want to see somebody like
I don't know. Is Karelin gonna lose right now, bro?
Karelin win? Do they want to see someone like Karelin lose, Jeff?
He can give a caution for retreating under attack. But Gardner holds his ground. Keeps his back to the center.
By convincing the referee of Gardner's passivity,
With his patented one-point takedown move.
the Russian Bear once again gained an advantage.
Oh my God.
Gardner's got to be careful not
Boss.
running down. There's only 2 seconds to go. That's it.
I made a blunder and was out of emotions to turn the match around. I let down the hopes and expectations placed on me. My dad came to support me and a large group of my fellow countrymen. And I lost. I still haven't learned how to comment on this. In 13 years on the international stage. And with this, his era came to an end.
Wow.
Following those Olympic Games, the over-under clinch rule was canceled, but the 33-year-old Alexander hung up his wrestling shoes, exhausted by the grind and injuries. After calling it quits, he went into politics and scientific research. In 2002, the former wrestler defended his doctoral dissertation, earning a professional degree in the field of sports pedagogy. Today, Alexander is far from the madman he once was. He writes poetry, organizes regular tournaments for young wrestlers, and teaches seminars all over the country.
How is that physically possible?
Staying undefeated for 13 years, Karelin amassed a unique collection of titles unimaginable for mere mortals.
Facts.
Was inducted into the Guinness World Records and named the greatest wrestler of the 20th century by the International Wrestling Federation. 2 decades passed since those events, but many of the Siberian Colossus's achievements remain untouched. Looking at my story, every young man should realize that despite living in the most remote corners of the world, he can become a champion.
Facts.
If you enjoyed the video, slam the like button, subscribe to the channel, and vote for sport.
Chat, this is the end of the video, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man, and let me know down below what you guys think about this, man. And yeah, with that being said, I'll catch y'all. Yes, sir.